This is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardines, to use this as an educational material.
Good day, I am Engine Cadet Anduyan Anderson, reporting this is a group 3, reporting the global media culture. The global media culture is define the way when we interact and communicate with an entity or body of things in a way that facilitates a process of building connections through those processes. In global media culture, there are three elements. The three elements of global media cultures is number one is a narrative, such as presentation, transmission, or representation of global media, or the media which allows people to create stories in parallel narratives. Number two, the storytelling of media creations, such as the ability of the human mind or media in a general or understand and perceive events and the processes. The last one, but not the least, is the power of information and the ability of media creators and news media to create stories to convey them directly. Uh, there's a group with a media famous to mostly national and international dimensions. So it includes that the media includes the mass media, the news sites, television platforms such as radio stations, radio and other news outlet, newspaper, magazine, social media platforms such as Twitter, YouTube, and mobile phones media such as Facebook, Google Plus, Yahoo. They include the online media such as news, websites, and magazine. Uh, Today, the generation is not too difficult to know what the world is happening, because the generation of today is there are lots of um, gadgets like cell phone, laptop. The most is the website they use is Facebook. You can post anywhere you are, and you can post what do you want today, and there are a lot of things that the global media culture is very easily today, like there's a typhoon. Did you know that the hurricane hits in the Philippines is, you can know easily that the typhoon is came to Philippines, and that's easy today for the new generations, and the social media is so very um, popular today now. This is my report, and thank you.
Hey everyone, I am Engine Cadet Dan and I will report about global media and culture. Objectives 1. Know the history of global media culture. 2. Understand global media importance. And the last one is media impact to the culture. What is global media culture? The way we interact and communicate with an individual or group of objects is defined by a global media culture in a way that makes it possible to forge relationship as a result of such interaction and communications. History background of global media culture. According to Lisi in 2001, the 1860s through the 1920s market beginning of a genuine worldwide media network. It has been emphasized how aggressive nation-states use communication companies to achieve their own economic and political objectives by dividing the world up. Another more computatory interpretation characterized the time as on of capitalism, and highlights the role of multinational corporation and the transactional cartels in the development of the first global technical communication infrastructure. However, over the 1920s, raising the nationalism and protectionism put an end to the early suggestion for a system of globally regulated communication. Britain's initial lead to a communist and a global communication. The flow of news and information has followed channels of trade, immigration, and culture contact for millennia. However, media historians typically focus on the time between the second half of 19th century and turn of the 20th century when global media system emerged that was composed of a world network of submarine cables, news agencies, national and international therapy system, and national commercial press system. The maturation and consolidation of the therapy industry in Britain, Europe, and North America by mid-1860s led to an essential step toward the world. Expanding Emirates and especially in the transatlantic economies combined with a British Empire commercially, diplomatic, and military resistant of fast and risky international communication added further momentum. For the first time in history, world electronic communication networks and the mass production of dissemination of news, financial information, and diplomatic conversation brought the distant events of far-flung communicates almost instantaneously and simultaneously shared experience of distant events and provided at least 10 base for a medical global culture. Firms, especially the Eastern Therapy Company, the biggest multinational of its time, led the efforts of create sprawling network of telegraphs and submarine cable to Europe in 1850s, to the Middle East, in India and North America in the 1860s, to South America and Asia in the next decade, and finally encircling Africa in the mid-1880s. Media have been important impact of a culture globalization in two mentally independent ways. First, the media provide an incentive traditional transmission of cultural products, and secondly, they contribute to the information of communicative network and social structures. And this is the reference of my reports. And that's all. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Indian Cadet Jetterwood Dayanan. I'm here to report, analyze how media drive various forms of global integration and explain the dynamic between local and global cultural production. Globalization and media. Globalization is a set of multiple and sometimes overlapping historical processes, including economics, politics, and culture, that have combined with the evolution of media technology to create the condition under which the globe itself can now be understood as an imagined community. The two concepts have been partnered throughout the world of human history. Globalization and media have created the condition through which many people can now imagine themselves as part of one world. Evolution of media and globalization. To understand further the study of globalization and media, it is important to appreciate 5 periods of the evolution of media and globalization. Oral communication. Language allowed to humans to cooperate. It allowed sharing of information. Language became the most important tool as human beings explored the world and experienced different culture. It helped them move and settle down. It led to market trades and cross-continental trade. Script. Language was important, but imperfect became a strain for oral communication. Script allowed humans to communicate over a larger space and much longer times. It allowed for the written and permanent codification of economic, cultural, religious, and political practice. The printing press. It started the information revolution. It transformed a social institution such as schools, churches, governments, and more. Elizabeth Einstein surveyed the influence of the printing press. It changed the nature of knowledge. It preserved and standardized knowledge. Electronic media. The vast, of reach, the vast reach of this media continues to open now up new vistas in the economic, political, and cultural process of globalization. Radio quickly became a global medium, reaching distant regions. Television, considered considered as the most powerful and pervasive mass medium. It brought together the visual and aural power of the film with the accessibility of radio. The electronic media and communication sector, which ranged from the telecommunication network and the internet through to radio, television, and film, is itself among the most active in the current drive for the globalization of production, market, and trade. Digital media. Digital media are often electronic media that rely on digital code. Many of our earlier media such as phone and TVs are now considered as digital media. In the realm of computer, it allowed citizens to access information from around the world. Role of media in globalization. Mass media plays a key role in extension of globalization process. The media components such as television, internet, computers, and etc. are considered to have a paramount influence on globalization. Radio is one of the easiest and cheapest media source. It is possible for globalization to occur without media. Global imaginary and global village. Media have linked the globe with stories, imagined myths, and metaphors. Global imaginary. The globe itself as imagined community. Global village. Marshall McLuhan. Media have connected the world in ways to create a global village. As McLuhan predict, media and globalization have connected the world. However, the global village have brought no collective harmony or peace.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Cadet Ronald Alandi Noardo, and I'm going to talk about what is the role of media in globalization. Media and globalization are becoming increasingly significant day by day. Nowadays, it is difficult to imagine a person who does not use media products, which include television, newspaper, and internet. Most importantly, there are multiple examples of significance of media in political participation. Egyptian Revolution of 2011, Euromaidan, Ukrainian riots, and 2013 to 2014 are the most current instances in which protests were mobilized via social media, Twitter, and Facebook to be exact. It's also vital to note globalization process is taking place in an increasingly rapid fashion all over the globe. It seems that different cultures from the different countries are all intermingled in one global culture or lifestyle, if you will. Briefly speaking, concept of media and globalization are important because they are taking place at this very moment, strongly influencing all of humanity. And there are many contrasting ideas among scholars when it comes to globalization. However, importance of media stays undisputed. Some say that globalization leads to a more active participation in politics economics. At the same time, several scholars argue and globalize is taking place because the Western countries need more customers for filling their financial needs by ignited by the capitalized ideas. I am hoping to contribute the literature of emphasizing the significance of the media. My argument is that there will no globalization is not for the media. And the hypothesis, there are scholars who speculate the globalization and westernization are nothing but synonymous terms. I also take this stance. To deal with my task, I compare and analyze the statistical data of internet penetration rate, which acts a representative of media, and the democratization level, which depicts how much globalized or western by a country is. It seems I will be conducting a qualitative archival research since there are no surveys being held, and I am using already existing data to prove my point of view and generate a hypothesis. As I already started, I will attempt to demonstrate a vital role media plays in globalization process. I personally think that media interactive quality is the what makes it to influential. I personally think that media interactive quality is what makes it to so influential. Hence, media products that deliver information in one way only. TV newspapers should be not taken into account. Instead, I shall look percentage of those who have access to internet by country. That's all. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. Let me introduce myself. I am Engine Cadet John Leonard Sodelias, and I'm here to share about a certain topic, which is the pros of globalization. So, first is, what is globalization? Globalization is defined as a process that moves businesses, organization, workers, technology, products, ideas, and information beyond national borders and cultures. Supporters say that this is making countries more independent on free trade, but critics maintain that is also concentrating wealth in corporate elite, disrupting industries and making local economies more vulnerable. So this is the pros of globalization. Number one, globalization broadens access to goods and services. It is hard to argue with the point that globalization makes more goods and services available to more people, often at lower prices. If you have disposal income that you're buying a product that comes with from abroad, you're benefiting from globalization to some extent. Business owners also benefit by having access to a bigger market for their goods and services. Next is globalization can lift people out of poverty. The argument that globalization has lifted people in developing countries out of poverty is somewhat controversial because opinion differ as the quantity and quality of the jobs created by globalization. But the general wisdom is that globalization has increased job opportunities in capital's scare, label rich countries, i.e., and developing countries. Next is globalization increases cultural awareness. Globalizations differ, say it has increased cultural, cross-cultural understanding and sharing. Globalized society boosts the rate at which people are exposed to the culture, attitudes, and values of people in other countries. That expose can inspire artists, strengthen ties between nations, and dampen xenophobia. Next is information and technology spread more easily with globalization. Art and culture are not the only things that spread more easily in a globalized society. The same goes for information and technology. For example, see the rise of mobile banking in Kenya or the practice of microlending. Civil society groups can look to other countries for international and good ideas can spread more easily. And the last one is better job opportunities, especially for poor people in developing countries. Globalization gives them the huge opportunity to escape poverty since these people may be able to work for international companies and to move which part of the world due to their jobs. And end of slideshow. That's all. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I am Engine Cadet Vivencio G. Amarillo Jr., and we talk all about the give the cons of media globalizations, guys. First of all, guys, what is the cons of media globalizations? Cons of media globalizations, guys, is a disadvantage of media globalizations. First, guys, I give you seven examples of cons media globalizations. First, guys, is it contributes to individualism on the website and watching TV, people wasting too much time. And second is, as a consequences, it affected social interactions with friends, relatives, and neighbors. Third is, some content in the media is not like watching porn, guys, or kanang pornography. That's some content in the media is not good. And we go to second slide, guys. Fourth is, it can be taught to restrict children access to certain stuff. Fifth, papers are geographically limited. And six is, increased advertisement on TV and radios makes them lies interesting. That's, guys. Then lastly, guys, seven. The internet opens up the possibilities of fraud, theft, and hacking as a type of entertainment. Using the social media, guys, there's a lot of hacking, thief. That's the all of my discussions about the cons media globalizations, guys. And that's all. Thank you. I am an Engine Cadet Vivencio G. Amarillo Jr. God bless.
What is media? Media is the one who gives information. Media allows cultural diffusion among people from different parts of the world. Media allows people across the world to share and access the same information. Media enables mass production of assets to suit public demands. Is it possible for globalization to occur without media? I think it is impossible for globalization to occur without media. It is because media is the one who gives information not only in every country, but globally and internationally. Mass media plays a key role in its extension of globalization process. The media components such as a television, internet, computers, and etc. are considered to have a paramount influence on globalization. Radio is one of the easiest and cheapest media sources, since the goal of globalization is to have the states, countries, to be interconnected to each other. It needs a medium to make this happen, which in case, the media. The long distance and isolation had been reduced by media such as television and internet. Globalization of media. Today, people all over the world have easy access to communicate with each other and to be aware of the news all over the world. Now, people have easier access of television, radio, internet, and in fact, they have access of other countries' satellite TV channels. It will be much easier to trade goods and services. It can be easily transformed to a powerful business community with global connection.
Good day, I am Cedric Elmar Padigos from Group 3 and I'm here to tackle about my topic. So, is media globalization a form of cultural imperialism? So, let's talk first about cultural imperialism. Cultural imperialism is the extension of influence or dominance of one nation's culture over others through the exportation of cultural commodities. So, for example, is the ancient Roman Empire is an early example of cultural imperialism. In this conquest of Italy, the Roman Empire imposed Latin on people of Etruria, replacing the Etruscan language, which ultimately led to the demise of the language and other aspects of the Etruscan culture. And other example is when we were colonized by the Spaniards back then, we adapted their language and we still use it up to this day. So, to answer the question, yes, media globalization is a form of cultural imperialism. In global communication today, cultural imperialism manifests itself mainly through media, especially mainstream and mass media. Media is one of the most prominent and visible forms of global communications. So, although cultural imperialism focuses on governmental and economic systems, it is more concerned with the assimilation of media like literature, film, television, internet, and music. Today, one of the main example of media cultural imperialism today in the 21st century is the country USA. It is considered a core country and partially extend its dominance through media. Flows through its movies, music, and products. US media and entertainment industries like Hollywood and Disney are able to penetrate the global market and export US American culture and products and values. Us engaging to their movies make us learn and adapt to their culture. And lastly is the Korean culture. Majority of the people are very invested in learning the Korean language and culture because of the Korean movies and that they are watching and the songs that they listen. So countries don't need to invade or colonize a country for cultural imperialism to happen. Instead, they are doing it through the means of media globalization. So